Hello, everyone. Let me just make sure we're good. We're live here. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to the Sales Train and Show this week. Really excited to be here with you guys and be talking today about your database. So, really cool topic here today. Hopefully, you guys are really excited about this. So, say hi as you tune in and join. Let me know you're here live in the replay, guys, or in the chat, and replay if you're tuning in for the replay. If you're here live, hi, Penny. We're so happy to have you guys here. We are so excited to kick this brand new community off with a weekly sales training show. And today, I want to talk about your database. I want to talk about your database in the sense of increasing rapid sales growth in your company. Okay. So, hi, Loretta. Good to have you guys here. Say hi as you're joining so that I can see. Make sure that you guys can see me. You can hear me. We're all here together. And then if you're tuning into the replay, give us a hashtag replay. So here's how it's going to go, guys. I'm going to cover a couple key components around really making sure you're building yourself a sales database for rapid growth. We're in the last quarter here in the States, right? So the final quarter of the year ends on December 31st. And a lot of people are really looking at how can I increase my sales? How can I make more money? How can we really prep ourselves so that we're coming into the new year, right, with already having money in the bank, recurring revenue, right? You're really kicking the year off in a good place, right? So what we want to be doing is we want to be looking at what we can be doing right now to make that happen. And so one of the key elements and systems that I have within my company is what I call my sales pipeline machine. It consists of 3 parts. And today we're going to cover the middle part. Okay, so I want you guys to take notes because I want you to understand the magic and the opportunity within a database. And a database is not it's not for someone at a certain stage of business. By the way, I have about 5 multi-million-dollar clients, and we are training this with their sales teams. So no matter what stage of business you're at, you guys, I want you to operate from a database. And today I'm going to talk about what it is. I want to share what it is, why you should even care, and how to start building one. And by the end of it, you're going to understand the importance of it and why you need it so bad. Okay. So something I teach my clients is my sales pipeline machine. My sales pipeline machine consists of 3 core components. Okay. We have 3 parts. The first part is top of funnel. The second part is the middle of the funnel, and then we have the bottom of the funnel. Think about a triangle. Or think about a bucket and slice a couple lines, right? You have the top, the middle, the bottom. If you look behind me on my whiteboard, actually, it's kind of comical that that's there right now. But if you look at that, you see the top, middle, bottom. That's the funnel, okay? This is my sales pipeline machine, guys. This is how we generate, and my sales team generates a sale a day. Okay, my social sellers generate a sale a day. And before I had social sellers, I generated 1 sale a day minimum. And this is what we use right here. If we take everything else out of the equation, this little triangle that you see behind me makes millions of dollars. Okay, I want to share the middle part with you guys today. Okay, and I didn't pull out the whiteboard. If you guys definitely want me to do that next time, I can. Just let me know. Just put whiteboard in the comments. I will absolutely make space and time to pull up the whiteboard and walk you guys through like a visual demonstration. If that is something, if you are a visual learner, tell me. Okay, just type whiteboard or visual learner in the comments. I absolutely will pull out the whiteboard and serve you guys that way. Okay. Today we're going to serve it up like this though. So grab pen, grab paper, take some notes, and you can do something like this on a piece of paper. And what I want to do today is I want to talk about the middle part of the funnel. So if you look behind me, you see the top, the middle, the bottom. Today, that is my sales pipeline machine. It consists of 3 core elements and systems. But today I want to talk to you guys about the middle, which is the database. Okay. So the top of the funnel is your leads. The top of your funnel, okay, at the very top, that is leads. Your leads are just people that you're connected with. Okay. So think about your email list. Think about your Facebook friends, your Facebook group. Think about your Facebook business page. Or maybe you have Instagram and you have connections. Or maybe you're on LinkedIn and you have connections there. I just want you to think about connections. I want you to think about the people in the world that you are connected with. Those are leads, okay? Those are just people of the internet, okay? Those people don't mean anything to your bank account, right? Like when you look at how many people you have in your Facebook group, you're looking at your Facebook group, but all of those people don't sit inside your bank account, do they? When you look at your Facebook friends, all of those people are not sitting inside of your programs. They're not sitting in your bank account, right? Many of them, you might not even know them. You might not know their name. You might not know where they live. You might know nothing about them. You're just connected, okay? This is what I like to call people of the internet. It's literally just like, think about the town you live in, okay? Think about the town that you live in. You have all these neighbors and people that live in your town, but how many of them are you BFFs with? How many of them do you actually know on a really deep level? So that's the top of your funnel. It's just people you're connected with, you're surrounded by, you guys are in the same spaces together, okay? So if you look at this top, middle, and bottom here, behind me, that top of your funnel, it's just connections. And the middle of the funnel, which is what we're going to talk about today, this is your database. A database is not your email list. A database is not your Facebook group. A database is not the people that follow you on Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever platform you're on. Your database is not the people that are sitting on your Facebook friends or connected on your business page. They're not, your database is not other people's Facebook groups. Your database is your own actual list of qualified leads. Okay, so if you look at this funnel behind me, okay, and again, you can put whiteboard or visual learner in the comments if you want me to pull the whiteboard out next time and walk you through this. But listen, if you look at the top, middle, and funnel behind me, right, you bring people in at the top. And the top is where you're just connecting with people, right? You're just building up your audience, you're growing your group, you're adding people on social media, you're adding connections, you're just connecting with people. And then what happens after you do that? When someone joins your group, when someone accepts your friend request, when you accept someone's request, when you connect with someone on Instagram or LinkedIn, what happens after that? Like specifically, step by step, every time, what happens? For most business owners, nothing happens. You add a bunch of people and then you pitch a bunch of people, right? You add a bunch of people and then you're like just spitting and spewing content at them. And you're selling your offers and you're talking about your offers, and that's pretty much what happens. So what I want to talk about today is that middle of that database, or the middle part of the funnel, your database. Because what I want you guys to understand is if you are someone, and if you're brave enough, you can let me know in the comments if you can relate to this. If you're someone who starts your workday opening up your social media browsers and opening up your email list, and then you look at all those browsers and you say, cool, where am I getting sales today? Who are my clients? Who am I going to sell to? What should I post? Where should I post? What should I say in that post? What should I do today to get sales? I have all these new connections. What should I do with them? What do I say to these people? How do I get them to see that I have what they need? Like, all this stuff, okay? If that's how you're operating day in and day out, and let me know, guys, in the comments, give me some kind of emoji if that's how you currently operate. There's nothing, guys, listen, it's okay. That's why you're here, because you're going to learn how to operate differently. But I want to know if that's how you operate day in and day out, Monday through Friday in your business. You just kind of open up all your browsers, you open up all your profiles, you got a bunch of tabs open, and you're just kind of like, cool, let me post some content. Okay, let me send an email. Okay, let me post over here on this profile. Okay, I posted over here. Maybe I'll sell something today. Let me talk about my offer. Maybe I'll go live today. Okay, I don't know. Let me post some more stuff. Let me send another email. And the problem with this, guys, is all those people that you are connected and that we are connected with, they're just people of the internet. They're not actually potential buyers yet. And so what we need to do is move them into the middle part of your funnel. I want you to think about filling the top of your funnel, which is your leads. It's just connections. But then what do you do with them? Because today, in today's space, it's not a strategy to just post a bunch of content in a bunch of places and then sit back and twiddle our thumbs and say, okay, I posted, I emailed, I went live, right? Like I put out some stuff. Where are my sales? Where are the clients coming from? How do people buy from me? Like where are we doing this, right? That is not a strategy, right? So we need a database. We need to have the middle part of your funnel is the things that you're going to do to take a lead, a cold lead from the internet, and bring them into your ecosystem and nurture them and build trust and build rapport and move them specifically through a step-by-step process that curves the time it takes for them to convert and gets them rapidly into your programs. And we're not pitching to death. We're not being all weird. We're not sending weird DMs. We're not doing weird stuff, right? So let's talk about a database. Let's talk about what is a database. Why should you care about it? And how do you start building one? Number one, a database. What is a database? A database, I want you to think of it like a Trello board, maybe a spreadsheet, maybe it is a group track app or system. It's a place, it's a designated spot that you have a list of names of people that you're qualifying, you're talking to, you're building rapport, you're building relationships, you are learning about them, you are sharing content that is top of mind and relevant for them, you are engaging and learning about them, you're building rapport, you're building relationship, you're building that trust, and you have them inside a designated spot. Off social media. Social media is not a database, guys. A Facebook group is not a database. An email list is not a database. An email list is a CRM system. I'm talking about a place where you start and end your day. If you have a social seller, they start and end their day in that database. It's a designated spot or system or whatever that you open up every day. The minute you start your workday, you open it up and you have categories. Hot, warm, cold, collaborator, referral, whatever, not a fit. You have categories. And under the categories, you have names of actual real life humans. And with these humans, you are moving them through a specific process, okay, that takes them from cold consumer, like, hi, just met you, to how do I sign up for your program? Okay, there are actual things you need to be doing, and there's specific things that need to happen for someone to do that. We're not going to move someone in our database and say, hey, friend, thanks for accepting my friend request. Hey, girl, thanks for accepting my friend request. So I see that you need help with this. That's cool. That's exactly what I do. Here's the link. Check out my program. No, that doesn't work today. That's not how we sell. And that's not what we're doing, right? That's not a system. A system is a thought out process that is once repeatable. It means you can write it in a checklist on a Word document and say, here's the first step that happens when someone joins our database. Here's the next step that happens. Here's my touch points. Here's how we move every single lead that we are building a relationship with, that we are earning trust with, that we are building rapport with, that we are connecting with, and we're getting them plugged into our content. Here is the step-by-step 1, 2, 3, 4 process that the whole company follows with every single lead that comes into our ecosystem. And then you or your sellers or whoever's doing this in your company does that every single day. And what you're doing is at the top of the funnel, you're filling your new audience every day, right? You see the funnel behind me? And then at the top, you're filling all these new people. So you're connecting with new people every day. And then you're dropping them down into the middle part of your funnel. And the middle part is where the relationship gets built. It's where the trust happens. It's where you build rapport. It's where you plug them into very specific content that is top of mind for them, not for you. And you get them activated so that they come back and say, I would love to know how to work with you. I would love to know how to apply to see what it would be like to work with you. I would love to know what your programs are or how we may be able to work together. I just watched your training. I just downloaded your guide. I just watched that thing you tagged me in. Thank you so much. That's exactly what I was looking for. That was top of mind for me right now. This is what I'm trying to do. Do you have a program? Is there a way that we could talk about working together? That's the energy that needs to be created. And that's not coming from you popping out a whole bunch of pitches and emails and weird DMs that, to people that you have not built any trust or relationship with. That doesn't work in today's space, right? And honestly, I've been doing this for 2 decades. It didn't work 5 years ago. Nobody likes to be sold to, but people love to be provided with a solution. If they have a problem, they want a solution. And so how do you figure out what their problem is? How do you figure out what to say to people? How do you figure out how to word things? How do you figure out how to really position your solution so that it connects the dots for your buyer and they're like, hand raise, I want that. I need that. That's exactly what is top of mind for me today. How do you do that? You do that by getting into conversations and having the trust building process, getting them plugged into your content so they can see what you're about. Your content will do 90% of the selling for you and have your people coming back saying, hand is raised. I want to know more. But if you're just going around blasting content all over the place, first of all, according to my mentor, Gary Vee, less than 3% of people even see one piece of your content today. So unless you're pumping out 1 million pieces of content every single week, and it's getting in front of hundreds of thousands of people, chances are nobody's really seeing much of what you're putting out. But if you build relationships with people and you're having two-way conversation and they know you and they like you and they love you and they trust you and they want to work with you and they love what you're doing, they're actually going to follow and watch and see all of your stuff. So you have a better chance at boosting algorithm, boosting engagement, getting more eyes on your content that you're putting out when you actually take the time to build a relationship with somebody. It's reciprocity, right? You do for me, I do for you. If you build trust with me, I am more likely to check out your stuff. I'm more likely to respond to your DM if I know you and I like you and I trust you and you're decent. I am more likely to open your emails if I see your name and I'm like, oh, I love her. I love her stuff. She's awesome. I care about her. She's a good person, right? I am way more likely to interact and engage with everything you send me if I know, like, and trust you. And if you have taken the time to build a relationship with me. Now, does this mean that you're sitting in your DM having, weird girly chit chat? Absolutely not. Like I said at the beginning, you need to have a specific 1, 2, 3, 4 step-by-step process and a very specific strategic system that you are following or your sellers are following, rinse, repeat, day after day, lead after lead, minute after minute. You start your day and you end your day with that specific database and those people. And you take the people from cold and you basically look at them and say, what do I know about this person? Absolutely nothing, right? They just entered my space. I don't know anything about them. So what should I do? Well, probably you should do some activities to get to know them and to maybe you send them a friend request. Maybe you go comment on a couple pieces of their content. Maybe you send them a welcome message, an audio, or maybe you tag them in something. Like you start to build a relationship. We call this touch points. And the touch points look different for someone who's cold versus someone who's warm versus someone who's hot, right? You're not going to do the same touch points with a cold lead that just came in with the person that you're going to do with your hot leads who are already qualified to work with you. So the goal inside of the database, wherever you're storing these people inside of these categories, you or your sellers, the goal is that every single day we're moving people through the pipeline, meaning they're going from cold to warm to hot to paying client. Cold, warm, hot, paying client. Rinse, repeat every day. And you're filling up your new cold leads every day because you're connecting with people out in the internet world. And so that's growing. And as you're following your step-by-step process that should be in a Word document written out for like a 5-year-old, as you're doing that, you're moving people and they're gradually and naturally going from cold to now warm to hot to like activated buyer. They're now a paying client, right? And so this is a database, guys. A database is qualified. It's leads that you're qualifying. You or your sellers are qualifying every lead that hits your space every single day. You're starting your day, you're ending your day with those leads. We're not even open in social media. My sellers don't even open Facebook. When they start their day, we use Group Track. If anybody wants the affiliate link, you can sign up under us. It's phenomenal. We use Group Track and we open it up, and that's where we work all day. We start with our hot leads, and then we start with our warm, and then we start with our cold. And we work that database every single day. We don't even need to open social media. We just work out of Group Track. It already opens up inside of the social media. You don't even need to have 50 browsers and then everything is labeled, right? We have tags, hot, cold, warm. We have people's buy-in timeline. I know your names. I know how many kids you have. I know where you live. I know what your goals are. I know what you're struggling with. I know how much money you're making. I know how much money you want to be making. I know what your fears are, your mindset. I know what your DNA is. I know all the things, right? Because I'm building relationships and connecting. And that way, when I say, hey, guess what? I want to sell this program today. Guess what I can do? Guess what I can do? My team, when I say, hey, team, we want to sell this offer today or this week or this month. Guess what my team does? They go in Group Track and they filter based on all the people that we have qualified a fit for that particular program. So guess what we do when we want to sell something? We just open up our database. We filter by the leads that are qualified for that kind of program, and we start to reach out and connect. And do they think it's weird when we send them a message? No. You know why? Because they get connections and they get engagement from us every single week. If you are in our database as a hot lead, someone that we see we can help, someone that we know will win in our program, if you are labeled as a hot lead in our database, that means we see you as someone that we can help and that you will win in our program. And so guess what we do? Every single week until you are ready to work with us on your own, every week we nurture you. We love on you. We share content with you that we know you want, that we know will help you. We are not sending weird, pitchy, crazy DMs and messages. We're not tagging you to death. We're not being awkward and weird. We're not like, hey, I don't even know you and I haven't talked to you in 2 months. Buy my stuff. And so the DM process is very, 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 very strategic. And that's how we sell out our programs. This is why we generate a sale a day minimum every day. My business has not had a sale a day in many years. If my team does not report a sale a day, we have a big problem, okay? Because we have a system, we have a database, and those leads are being nurtured, and we are building rapport, and we are qualifying them every single day, and that pipeline grows every day. We add 20 new people a day to our ecosystem. That means 20 new people are entering our database every day for us to keep working with, right? And so our sales pipeline does not get dry. How many people here, how many of you here, give me something in the comments, just say me, if you are someone who's like looking at, your space and you're like, I'm not sure where my next sale is coming from. And if Anne asked me who are my next 5 buyers by name, I would not know their name. Just give me a me in the comments if that is you. So why I'm asking that is, if you ask me who are the next 5 people that are going to buy from me, I can tell you their names. I can tell you exactly who my next 5 buyers are. Here's what else I can tell you. I can tell you who's buying what program in 1 month, 3 months, and 6 months from now. Why do I know that? Because when we're talking to you guys and we're connecting and building trust and relationship, we ask you your buy-in timeline. And our people tell us, I would love to join your program in 3 months. I would love to at the beginning of the year. I would love to join next week. I would love to join now. I would love to start with this program and then move into this one by this time. When you build a relationship with people, they will tell you what they want from you and when they want it. And then you note it. You mark it in your database. So guess what we can do? I can pull up a whole list of people that are interested in a particular program, and I can see all their names and all our contacts. I can see all of our conversations, all the activity, all our last touch points. I can see every single thing about them, and I can see how we've been nurturing them, right? Every time my team comments on your stuff or hearts you or loves you or says, great job, congratulations, or hey, welcome, they make a note of that inside our database. And I can go in and say, oh, cool, yesterday we commented on Loretta's post and said, congratulations. So now let's make a task that next week we need to do another touch point with her. And then we'll go see what she's up to next week. We'll see what she's got going on. We'll see what she's up to. We'll see what our conversation is. We'll look at entry questions. We'll see what she's interested in, what she needs most. And we'll go say, hey, Loretta, we created this for you. We created this guide or this checklist or this training or whatever. And we thought it'd be really helpful for you. Would you like us to tag you in it? Would you like us to share it with you? And Loretta says, yes, absolutely. My God, that's top of mind for me. I need that right now. Perfect. Here you go. I'll follow up in a couple days, see your takeaways, and if you need any help customizing it. That's all. When people are ready to buy, they come to us. And when we put something out there, they buy it because we built a relationship, we built the trust, and we've earned the right to ask. We've gotten permission. Okay, so can you guys see how this is 1,000,000% different than what probably most of you are doing right now? Can you see how a database, holy cow, right? This is way different. This is how we operate business day in, day out. Right now, while I'm talking to you guys, my sellers are in group track doing their touch points, closing sales, booking calls, having conversations, nurturing new people, plugging people into the new places. Like right now, that's happening while I'm sitting here with you guys. And there's never a day that's not happening, ever, ever, ever. Right? And I'll give you a number so you guys can see how simple this is. If my sellers talk to 100 people a day, if my sellers talk to 100 people a day, we close 2 sales. How cool is that? 100 people will give you 1 or 2 sales. The question is, how many people are you talking to every day? So on average, if you guys want to share below, on average, how many people are you in your database every day talking to, building rapport, building trust, plugging them into your content, nurturing them, loving on them, building the relationship, qualifying them? How many people every single day are you doing that with on average? And I'll tell you what we find. Almost nobody's doing this. And here's what I'll tell you. I have 7 multi-million-dollar clients that have hired me to train their sellers on what I'm talking to you about right now, to train their sellers on how to increase their performance, increase their earnings, and increase conversions. And we're working in their databases and I'm training them on this. And they're not doing this. And the CEO, the business owner, didn't even know about it. So they weren't teaching it. So even millionaires out there, 7-figure business owners, have no idea what a database is. They have no idea what to do. They don't even know what we're talking about. I have to come in and completely train them. And this is a database. If you have sellers, this is what they need to be doing every day. If you're not making $1 million in your business, this is what you need to be doing every day, right? If you don't have a seller, this is what you're doing every day, right? Does this make sense? Just tell me making sense, or say yes in the comments if this is making sense. Are you guys seeing that like the people of the internet is not a database and that's not how you sell and make money every day? If you want to have rapid sales growth, guys, you need to build a sales pipeline machine. You need to have an actual database, and that database has to be backed up with a strategic system, a step-by-step repeatable system that you, your sellers, someone on your team can implement if they need to. It needs to be extremely repeatable and scalable. And it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. If you had to give this to a 5-year-old to come into your company and do this every day, they could just open that doc and see step 1, 2, 3, 4, connect the red dots, like connect the dots and go do it. It needs to be that dummied down. So simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's what happens when someone joins. Here's what happens when we have a new connection. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Follow, rinse, repeat every day of your life. And if you're not doing that, you're leaving a massive amount of money on the table. You're working way harder than you need to, because if you're not doing this, then I do know what you're doing. You are creating a ton of content. You are posting all over the place. You are putting offers in front of people. You have no idea if they want this, if they need it, if they're fit for this. You're just pitching people, you're selling, you're promoting, you're creating a ton of content. You're looking at the internet and you're like, oh my God, where are my buyers? You're chasing leads, you're desperate, you're getting stressed out, you're overwhelmed. You're feeling like, frig this, forget it, this sucks, I don't know what to do, right? You're creating to the life of you. And you're wondering why 500 pieces of content from Canva every day are not generating sales. That's not sales activities, guys. Okay? I'm training multi-million-dollar companies on sales activities. None of that is what we're doing. Those are not sales activities. That's marketing, it's content. And honestly, that is far less relevant. If you're not making enough money, you need to worry less about creation and you need to be in conversation. Write that down. Less creation and more conversation. If you are someone who wants to make $1 million fucking dollars, we can do that right now. We can do that by end of 2023. But how are you going to do that? It's not going to be creating a bunch of Canva images, websites, sales pages, scrolling social media, building a webinar, then a masterclass, then a challenge, and then an email, and then a funnel, and then a course, and 10 other courses. Those are not sales activities, guys. That is marketing, that is creation, that's content. None of that is sales activities. Sales activities are conversations with real humans that want to buy from you. And you're building a relationship. You're earning the ask. You're earning the permission to sell. You're having conversations. You're nurturing. You're building trust. You're showing people that you have what they need without going down and like putting them in the boxing ring and throat punching them to death to get them to see that what you do is amazing. How many of you feel like you are waking up every day and you're getting your boxing gloves on and you're jumping in the boxing ring and fighting to death for your sales? Give me a boxing emoji. I think they have a boxing glove. It's one of my favorite things. Give me a boxing glove emoji in the comments if you feel like you're putting your boxing gloves on and you're getting in the ring and you're fighting to death for sales every day. Because if that's how you feel, guys, that is not sales, and that isn't how sales should be done, and that's not how you should feel. When you are doing sales properly and you understand it, that's not how it is. You're not getting in the ring and throat punching people to say, please see what I have. Please see that it's for you. How can I convince you? How can I get you to understand? How can I show you that this is what you need? Like, what do I need to do? Do you want me to lower my price? Can I give you another bonus? Do you need more time with me? What do you need me to do? I will do anything to get this sale. Like, what do you need from me? Because I'm so desperate. That's not sales. Okay, I don't teach that. I don't do that. I'm not available for that. I'm not available to put boxing gloves on and fight somebody to overcome their objections or handle their objections. That is not how we do sales. We don't get objections over 90% of the time. Okay, we don't get them. My sellers don't get objections, guys. More than 90% of the time, we don't get them. And it's because of our process. It's what we're doing inside of our database. It's how we're doing what we're doing. Not so much what we're doing, but it's how we're doing it. So what I want you guys to understand is you can say things that erode trust. You can say something to somebody and it will literally put their sales wall resistance way up and it will erode their trust with you. And then you got to work really hard to get that sale. I see this in sales conversations. People will send me their recordings. My clients will send me recordings of their sales calls. And I'm like, that right there. You shouldn't have said that. You said that and boom. Did you see how they changed? Their objections went up. Their resistance went up. Their whole energy shifted. And you got an objection. You lost that sale. How you say things to people will make or break your sales. When you don't know how to effectively communicate with people, you end up going too quick for the pitch. You end up going too fast. You make assumptions. Just because someone says, hey, I'm struggling with this, and you're like, oh, I can help you with that. You should join my program. That's what I do. Boom. You eroded trust right there. You eroded trust right there, and now they have sales resistance towards you. And now they're going to give you an objection. You went too quick. It's not as much of what you're saying, although that's very important. It's how you're saying it. Okay, you need to follow a process. You need to move people properly. If I put half of you in a brick and mortar room with people, you wouldn't say half of the things you say in the DMs. You wouldn't do half of the things you do on social media face to face with somebody, because you know that's not how we do it. But people are hiding behind screens and they're like, oh, I'm just going to pitch you to death anyway. Like, what's the what, right? I want you guys to understand, you need to have a sales pipeline machine. That is your ticket. If you've been looking for some secret sauce, there really isn't any. But if you've been like that person that's like, I'm going to download and consume everything, and if you have been going from one coach to another coach, one course to another course, and you're just like, you're right, like, now I know so much, my head's going to explode. I don't know what the hell to do with all this information. If you're that person because you're trying to find this overnight magic bullet, not only is there not one, but if there was, this would be it. This would be it. You go back, this is backed by science, guys, right? Like, I don't do anything in theory, okay? I don't teach you just things I'm successful with. I don't teach you things that are trendy. I teach you human behavior sales, psychology-based sales. That's been my 2 decades of training. That's all I've ever done. Everything I teach is backed by science. It can be proven. It can be proven 100%. Nothing is like, hey, guys, I did this cool strategy and I had success with it. Now I'm going to teach it to you. That's all theory. I actually teach you guys sales skills, and I do everything backed by science. So if the math and the formula doesn't equal sales, I don't teach it, okay? Everything is backed by science. That's all my education. That's all my training. That's all I've ever done. I have over 100,000 hours on the field of actual real life practice, okay? So I want you to understand that the way I teach sales and selling, it's all about human behavior. It's all about building relationships. It's all about building trust really, really fast. And you want to be persuasive, but not manipulative. It's very authentic, human-centric sales. Most of the sales that you guys are learning today is not really sales skill, it's strategy. And it's also very dated. It's very ineffective. Why do you think people don't like sales? Most people hate selling. It isn't because you don't like to sell, because selling is providing solutions to people's problems. Who doesn't like to provide a solution to someone's problem? Who doesn't like to solve a problem for somebody or help somebody? We all love to do that. That's why we're here. That's the only reason we're here. Besides making money, we want to solve problems for people. We want to help people. Everyone loves to sell. What you don't like is the way that you've been taught to do it. Okay? And I teach entirely different. So I'm really glad you're here if you're here for the first time, because you're going to start to realize very quickly that I do not teach sales the traditional way. I teach sales that actually work. I teach sales that are backed by science and proven. They're formulas. So that's how we do it. Okay, so why should you care about building a database? You should care because if we just explained, like, if you're just opening up your social media and you're like, what are you doing when you do that? You're just kind of like, you're scrolling and you're looking at all the humans like dollar signs. You're like, where's my next sale? Who can I get a sale from? You don't even know who your buyers are. You don't even know who the people are that want what you have. You don't know anything about people. You're just connecting with a bunch of people. You're filling up your Facebook groups. You're adding people to your social media, but then you don't know what to do with them, and you don't know who they are. You don't know who's a buyer versus who's a not buyer. You don't know what kind of content to create because you don't know what people want, because you don't know anything about them, right? You're not doing any of the sales work. And so if that's how you're operating, You are struggling for those sales. You are busting your balls. You are working 50 times harder than my sellers work. And that's their job all day long. You are overkilling yourself. You're overdoing it. And it's not even really working, right? I have people that make multiple 6 and 7 figures and they're dying doing it. And they're like, I don't get it. How can I make this easier, more consistent? And how can I create these results with way less effort? You got to build a database. And you need to create a new neural pathway in your brain that gets you to do this differently, because your normal habits and routine right now is to open up social media, 50 browsers, and start emailing, start posting, start pitching, start selling, talk about whatever, try to get people to engage. That is not sales strategy. Okay? It's not going to work. And many of you know that because you're realizing that, right? You're doing, and you're like, where the hell is the giving, right? I'm doing all the stuff. Where's the ROI from it? Okay. You should care about having a database, because you can work 3 or 4 hours a day and make $1 million. And you could call it a day, right? We work a few hours a day. We make sales every single day and we're done for the day. We are not, if you look at our stuff, we don't need to pump out 70 pieces of content a day. We do 3 pieces a week. We create 3 pieces of content per week, and we're in the DMs and building relationships the rest of the time. Half of what we're doing, you don't even see it, because it's happening privately, it's happening intimately, and it's happened strategically in our database, not on social media. Certainly when we're doing a launch, we'll promote a little extra because we're doing a free workshop. But typically we do 3 pieces, maybe 4 a week. Okay. We don't even have a website right now. We're not worried about 1 million sales pages. We're not doing that. Guys, we're having conversations with people. You should definitely care about having a database if you want to make more money. I'm going to tell you that the answer today is not create more content. Okay. It's not lower your prices. It's not go create 7 more offers. You're just not doing it right. You're just not doing the sales process right. You're doing a lot of content and marketing. That isn't a sales activity. We have different things. We have content, you have marketing, you have visibility, and you have sales. And everybody's doing all those things except the sales part. And then you wonder why there's no new sales coming in. Chances are you're not doing sales activities. You're doing content and marketing and visibility, and you're doing everything except sales. How many of you feel, what do you feel you spend 90% of your day on? In the comments. Drop it in the comments. Is it content creation? Is it just posting everywhere? Are you creating? Are you posting everywhere? Or are you having sales conversations? Drop in the comments 90% of your day. On average, what are you doing 90% of your day? If you're not making all the money you want, it's not sales that you're doing, right? It's not sales. So you should care about having a database, guys. You should care about having a database. Okay? Very much so. Very, very much so. And this should really help you understand the importance of this. Multi-millionaires hire me to teach their sales teams how to build and operate from a database. If that doesn't reek importance, then I don't know what does. I'm telling you, at all stages and ages of your business, a database. Now, before I had sellers, I did this myself. I spent 4 hours a day. Okay, write this down. 4 hours a day. And I did 1 hour time blocks. So 4 blocks of 1 hour a day. And I worked my database. By myself, a single mom, living on welfare, all by myself, 4 hours a day. I worked that database. Fast forward, guys. Fast forward. 20 years later, my sellers spend 4 hours a day and work the database. We are doing the same things today that I was doing as a single mom on welfare by myself 20 years ago. If that does not show you, I don't chase all these trends and platforms and strategies and I found the secret thing and I broke the code. And oh my God, download this cheat sheet to the $1 million on Instagram. Hey, you can make 100K in 5 days. I'll show you how in my free thing. Like, I don't fall for any of that. Guys, blindfolders. Put your blindfolders on, put your earplugs in, and get down to work in your database. I'm telling you, this is what I'm talking about. You just got to get focused on sales activities and a little bit less of all the shiny stuff out there and all the sexy trends that people are teaching you, because all they're doing is teaching you a strategy that they just implemented that happened to work for them. And it happened to work for them because they probably have all the other things that you don't have in place to make that work for them. So the secret, guys, is always going to be sales. While everybody else is chasing the new TikTok dance, the new download on Instagram, the new this, the new that, and they're switching it up all the time, and they're having to literally constantly change their business to fit the new platform, to fit the new algorithm, to fit the new trend everybody's going for, to fit the new strategy. I'm over here in my bubble, and we are working our database. Boring as fuck. Boring as fuck, guys. But we make money. And we are not doing nearly as much as multimillionaires are doing. And we're making just as much money. We are working our database. Day in, day out, Monday through Friday, 4 hours a day, every single motherfucking day of our lives. That's what we're doing. What are you guys doing? And what are the people around you doing? Launching a new course, creating a new thing, $100,000 a month on Facebook ads, to this funnel, to that funnel, to this. I'm creating another course. I created another program. Oh my God, guys, we're on this platform. Now we're on this platform. Oh my God, we're over here. Oh my God, blah, 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 blah. It's like a ping pong, right? It's like chaos. And they have to change it all the time. Why? Because strategies are a dime a dozen. They come and go. Platforms come and go. Algorithm comes and goes. Everything's out of your control. The only thing you own are the relationships you're building every day of your life. Right? Those people will follow you everywhere. Those are your brand fans. Those people will follow you everywhere. Right? We build relationships with people and they're with us. They stay with us. I have people in my audience who have been here for 10 years. They buy everything I put out there. They're in our place. They're here, right? And we're not chasing nobody. We're not struggling for sales. We're not stressing out. We're not chasing people around. I can tell you who's making me $1 million in 2023 because I know all my buyers. I know every last one of them by name. I know how many kids they have. I know where they live. I know what their goals are in 2023. I know who they're working with right now, and I know that they're coming to me next. I know what they tell me they're not getting in their current program, and that's why they're coming to us. I know everything. Because we build relationships in a database and we never, ever have a dry sales pipeline. Our pipeline never runs dry of sales. If your sales pipeline is dry, it's because you don't have a database. You're hoping and relying that the algorithm is going to get your 300 pieces of content in front of the right people, and then you hope that they'll like your content enough to buy from you. Nobody's buying from content. People are getting activated by your content. If it's content they want, if you're putting the right stuff in front of them, but they're going to come back and they're going to buy from you because they know, like, and trust you, and because you have what they want. But if you don't know how to effectively communicate it and you're just throwing things at random people, guys, that's not a sales strategy. Okay? So I want you to think, how do you start building a database? You start with the leads that are right in front of you right now today. Right now today. If you have people on Facebook, open your Facebook friends list, open it up, pull up all your friends, open up a spreadsheet, hot, warm, cold, not a fit, and start plugging names in there, one by one by one. And what I teach my clients is 2 steps. Last step, next step. What was the last step you took with that person? And what is the next step you need to take? So let's say Jane Doe is someone on your Facebook friends list. And let's say that you accepted the friend request and now you guys are connected. That was your last touch. Let's say that was a week ago. Well, what would be your next touch? Maybe you could go and look at her profile and you could go love on a piece of content. Or maybe you could go find her on Instagram and connect with her there. Or maybe you could invite her to your Facebook group or whatever, right? Or maybe you could get in the DM and welcome her to your community and tell her how excited you are to learn how the two of you, to see her content and learn how the two of you could support each other. You got to figure out first, what was your last step? What's your next step with every single lead? And then you create a task. Don't try to do this in your brain. Create a task. Jane Doe, I'm going to follow up next week with Jane Doe with my next touch point. Next week, my next touch point with Jane Doe is going to be this. So I'm going to create a task that's going to remind me, because my brain will not remember, and I'm going to follow up with her because she's a hot lead. We've talked. She's absolutely interested in what I do. She needs and wants what I do, and I'm going to nurture her till she's ready to buy, and I'm going to stay front and center to her, and I'm going to love on her, and I'm going to build that trust really rapidly fast. Right? So you have to create your touch points, guys. You can't just you have to be able to build a database, and then you need to work the database. When I say work the database, it's you got to work those leads from cold to warm to hot to paying client, and you got to move it. You got to move those leads every day of your life. That's why I said at the beginning, you start and you end your day with your database. My sales team starts with hot leads, and we end the end of the day with our cold leads. Start your day, end your day with the database. You are making money. You are moving conversations and generating new sales and clients every single freaking day, right? But if you're just scrolling social media and you're like, I don't know, let me pump out a bunch of content. Guys, that's not going to put money in your bank, okay? Sales is the easiest thing in the world. It's the easiest part of business. Your job, your only single job every day is to provide solutions to people's problems. That's your job every day. We don't run charities, we run businesses, right? So we are selling solutions to people's problems every day, right? And in order to do that, you got to talk to people so they can tell you what their problem is. And because we are in a recession, I will make this very, very clear. Because we are in a recession, the things that people told you months ago was their problem is not what their problem is today. So you need to be in tune and in touch with your audience so that you know what is top of mind for them so that you can put that in front of them. Okay? This is a huge thing, guys. Okay, let me check comments. I got about 2 minutes. So let me check comments real quick, and then I will share a link with you guys in case you're not registered for our free workshop, where I'm going to walk through this a little bit more, plus some other things you guys need to know. Regina said, so honest question, are we warm leads for being here? No, you're not warm leads for being here, guys. Let me be very clear. A cold lead, a warm lead, a hot lead. It's a good question, Regina. Listen, just because someone joins something or registers or signs up or connects with you, that doesn't mean nothing. Zero. Zilch. Nothing. That means nothing to your bank account. No one leaves the cold category until you have built a relationship where they are now warm. You don't just put people in warm and hot categories because they talk to you or because they joined your group. That doesn't mean nothing. Guess what? I have a client who has 300,000 people in a group and she barely makes any money. If that doesn't prove the point, guys, it doesn't matter how many people you're connected with. You guys being in my Facebook group does not move you out of my cold category, right? It doesn't move you. It's the relationship that we build, and we qualify you, and we nurture you, and we take care of you, and we decide if we think we can help you, and we decide, based on what you're telling us, if you're ready. We decide would this person win inside of our program? Would this person win? Are they mentally, emotionally ready for this? Are they into it? Do they want this? Are they willing to do the work? We're not moving people just because you're here in our group. Absolutely not. Nope. And I want to be clear about that, guys. Okay. Again, I can't teach you my whole system because I don't have time. And we have 5 more minutes. But what I want you to do is just start to understand that the way you're using your time now is probably not a sales activity, and it's probably why you're working so many hours, you're working so hard, and you're doing a lot of stuff, but you're just not seeing the results in your bank account. I promise you, even if you don't know all the details of how to do this, just start doing it imperfectly, And you'll see a difference just even if you can't even do it properly, you're going to see a difference. Yes, Jonah said less creation, more conversation all day long, guys. If you talk to 100 people today, you'll all generate a sale. And one sale today is probably more than some of you have been doing all week over the past 2 weeks, right? So for some of you, generating a sale this week would be freaking amazing. So go talk to 100 people. Okay. Carla said, how do you create a database when you can't get subscribers? Carla, you've got to go get subscribers. And I don't know, when you use the word subscribers, I don't really know what that means. Subscribers to me is like email list, but you're on social media, right? So go grow your audience. You got to grow your audience. And that's the top of the funnel. You see behind me, top, middle, bottom. Today we've talked about the middle. The top of the funnel, you need 20 new leads a day. If you're not getting 20 new leads a day, that middle funnel gets really dry. No sales, no conversations, nothing's happening. Guys, I don't teach you strategy. I teach you systems. I teach you sales systems, okay? These three things behind me, they go together. You're not going to generate sales if one of these are missing. You got to do all of it. Regina, do you use Infusionsoft or anything to keep track of that in tasks? No, we don't. We use Kartra, which is a CRM system. That's where our emails live. That's not a database. We use Group Track for tracking. So we do all our tagging, all our conversations, all our leads. We move them in a funnel there. We personally use Group Track, but I will say this. Before I had a sales team, I used a spreadsheet. And I just put people's names and I had categories at the top. Hot, warm, cold, not a fit. Okay? Keep it simple. Don't get all crazy, guys. I know that our creative brain, the neural pathway you guys have created is creative and fun. And you're naturally going to be like, oh, what system should I go create today? Don't create a system. Just go start doing the thing, right? It doesn't matter. Like, use a spreadsheet. We do have Kartra, which is our CRM system, but that's just where we send emails. Again, that's not our database. I have people on my email list we've never talked to. So that's not my database. Regina said, so if I send a DM after this asking for help, then maybe I would be in one if you felt it was the right fit. Makes sense. Yeah. Like Regina, if you and I talked, let me give you a little bit. Okay. So Regina, we'll use you. I'm going to pick on you because you're talking and I love it. Thank you for showing up and actually asking questions and interacting. That gets me pumped. So Regina, you join our group. Okay. You join our Facebook group. We don't know you. Let's say we don't know you. You're here. We have you answer some entry questions. That's a touch point. So you answer some entry questions. That gives us a little bit of information. We might say, okay, cool. We know a little bit about Regina. Should she be in the group? Would she get, anything from this group? Would she find value in the group? Does she seem like someone who would get value from what we teach? Sure. Let's go ahead and let Regina in. Sellers, go ahead and take the entry questions and put that in Regina's file inside Group Track so we know we have that data. And then we're going to tag her in a welcome post that's going to give her some steps and some value. And in that welcome post, it's going to tell her that, we'll reach out soon in the DM just to connect with her and welcome her and hopefully plug her into some resources that will be top of mind for her. So we do that. We tag you. And then we get to you and we send you a welcome message in the DM and we chat a little bit and we say, hey, Regina, we're happy you're here. And we'd love to get you plugged into some content that's going to support you. In your entry questions, you said this. Is that still something you feel you would need more help with? Yes, Regina says, yes, yeah, I would really love that. Okay, cool. Can you, just so I can get you the right training, Regina, I want to plug you into the right resources. Can you tell me a little bit about this? Tell me a little bit about what you're doing right now. Okay, cool. That makes sense. And what does this look like? Okay, cool. And so what about that? All right, awesome. So I think I have a training for you. I think I have a resource that's going to help you. Now I know a little more about you. You and I are having a conversation. We're building rapport. I'm learning if you're someone that I can support. And I'm learning what resources I could send you. So now at this point, I'm going to send you a resource that you've given me permission to send to you. You said, yeah, and that would be really helpful for me. Great. Let's get you plugged into that. I'll follow up. My team will follow up in about 24 or 48 hours. We'll get your takeaways. And I just want to talk a little bit about what your first thing is going to be that you're going to implement from what you learned, and we'll see if we can support you with that. And then we're going to do that. So we're going to make a task. Follow up. We sent this resource to Regina on this day. So in 24 hours, 48 hours, follow up with Regina. Find out what questions she has about the resource. How can we support her? What is she implementing? And does she need help implementing that, or is she cool to do that by herself? And we'll follow up and check in and make sure she's doing okay with that in a few days. And now you're warm. Or we might say, she's not a fit, right? And so we might put you in the not fit category, or we might take you right out of our space altogether. It depends. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is how we do it, guys. And all of the content we plug you guys into, we're going to share with you the things that you're saying that you need, the things that you're here for, the things that you need help with, right? And then there's good call to actions from that. We are always going to tell you guys, if I think me, because I'm the boss of my business and I'm the CEO, I'm the expert. So if I think I can help you, and I think you have what it takes, if I think you have what it takes to come in my programs and win, I would be doing a disservice to not offer that to you. But I can't offer it to you until we build a relationship and I learn about you, right? I need to know first. I need to give you some free stuff. You need to go do some free things. Like right now, you're showing up and you're communicating and engaging on this live. So that's a good thing. That's a good sign, right? But you might be someone who's like, yeah, I'm not willing to do the work. Yeah, I'm not going to show up. No, I'm not willing to. So that would not put you in a hot category for us. Just because you're here and you're right. We have to learn your habits. We have to see your mindset. The people that come in my programs have a specific DNA. And if you don't have the DNA, we just don't go there. Okay? So we have to connect. We have to talk. We have to move you through a process, give you some things to do. We need the interaction. We need to see you're doing the things. Like, we need to qualify. And we need to make sure if you invest in our stuff, you're going to get results. And it's not me that can do that. It's you. And if you don't have what it takes, we just don't go there, if that makes sense. Always Jonna said, so pre-qualification before moving them up, always. Always, guys, don't even try to sell something to somebody if you haven't qualified. Now, it doesn't mean that you're not going to put content out. We post things on social media, obviously. We share and invite people to our group. We share and invite people to our workshop. But we're very clear. Here's who it's for, and this is what we're teaching. But once you enter our database, we will remove you if you're not a fit. We will keep you if you are. We'll move you along the process and take really, really, really good care of you if we think we can help you. We're not going to pitch you to death. We're not going to box you in the ring and throat punch you to get you to buy our shit or join our stuff. We're going to nurture you, and when you're ready, you will. When you're ready, you will. If we think that we can help you, we'll take good care of you. And if not, then you probably just find that you're not in our space anymore, right? Flat out. Okay. Joanna said, touch points, answer pre-qualification entry questions. Number 2, welcome post, steps, value. 3, welcome message and DM in your entry questions. He said resources. Yeah. And like, Joanna, that's really great. So that's like a basic kind of like overview. Yes. Inside there's obviously effective communication that needs to happen. You need to know what to say, what order to say it. You don't want to say something too soon and then erode trust or put up sales resistance. You have to know how to effectively communicate, and you need to know when to be asking things and when it's too soon. And you know what I mean? It's a sales process. And nobody teaches this crap. I don't know why. Nobody teaches this shit. But you need to know how to do that, because if you say something too quick, or you pitch too quick, or you make assumptions, or if, like, Jonna, if you said to me, hey, Anne, thanks so much for inviting me into your group. You know, I'm looking to increase my sales. Okay. If I said, Jonna, so good to have you here. Thanks for joining our group. Oh, okay. So you're struggling to make sales. We can definitely help with that. That's what we do. You should check out my program. I just eroded trust, and I quick pitched you, and I made an assumption. All no-nos in sales. Number 1, you did not say the words, I'm struggling. You said, I'm looking to increase my sales. You did not say, I'm struggling. So I used something and said something you did not say. So I made an assumption that you were struggling, but that's not what you said. You can never make assumptions in sales. So already I'm not effectively communicating. And then number 3, I just pitched you, right? I didn't even say, hey, when you say you want to increase your conversions, Jonna, tell me a little bit more. What does that mean for you? Tell me a little bit about what you got going on. I didn't even have a conversation to really find out, what do you mean when you say that? So I just went right into, oh, you're struggling with sales? Join my sales program. I can help you with that. That's eroding trust, and that's quick pitching, and that's putting up sales resistance. That's exactly why people don't want you to send them messages in the DM, because you do stuff like that. Because not you, Jonna, but we do things like that, or we say things like that, and you're not following a proper process. Or people join your group and you think because they join your group, you can pitch them. This is why people are like blocking people and they're like, don't DM me. Or it's why they see your DMs and they don't answer. Because people, it's not that people don't like DMs, if they don't like what's being said to them in the DMs. My specialty inside my programs and with my clients, all day, every day, inside every single thing that we do, we are learning how to effectively communicate using human behavior language that is backed by science, so that we don't erode trust, so that we don't quick pitch, so that we don't make assumptions, so that we don't create objections. Objections are not normal. They're common because you create them. That the way that you're doing things creates them. We don't want to do that. We don't want to create sales resistance. We don't want to come off douchey in the DMs. We don't want to come off desperate in our content, in our conversations. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is the stuff that I teach that nobody else teaches. Everybody else just says, hey, I have a quick strategy that worked for me. Who wants to get my strategy for free? Like, that doesn't mean shit for you guys, right? That's not sales. Does this make sense? Are you guys loving this? Let me know if this was helpful. It's guys, I can't give you everything, right? In this one like training, because I got to wrap it up. I'm at the top of the hour here, but I want to love you guys. I want to support you. And I want to make sure that at least we're having some shifts, maybe a little bit. Can we put shift in the comments? Are you guys at least did you have at least a shift on like, at least a database is so important, and wow, is it different than what I've been doing? Like, is this helpful? Are we having a little shift in like, we need to reprioritize our focus, right? We need to reprioritize our focus and what we're spending our time doing. But we also need to make sure that we are effectively communicating with people, right? So that we're not eroding trust. We're not creating objections that don't need to happen, right? Okay, listen, I'm gonna drop a thing here for you guys. I think most of you are probably in this, but like, I want to drop my link to the free workshop we're doing on October 24th. We are going to talk more about the database, okay? We're going to talk more about human behavior sales. We're going to talk about your sales pipeline machine. We're going to talk about preventing objections 90% of the time at least. We're going to talk about some of the common breakdowns and sales myths that you are probably being trained on and conditioned and taught to believe that are actually hurting your sales. So we're going to identify those things. We're going to talk about those things. Definitely. I think you guys would love being there. It's just 5 days of this, right? But we're going to be doing these on Zoom. So it's going to be really intimate. You can get in the virtual room. We can answer some questions. We're going to have some workbooks and some exercises and homework for you guys to do. So it's going to be fun and interactive. I would definitely be there if you think like even what we touched on today is like, oh, wow, okay, I need more of this in my life. This is not how I'm actually running my business. This would benefit you. If you're not registered, I just dropped the link in the comments. Go ahead and register, guys. It's free. It's totally free. We'll spend some days together. Jonna said, in your 30-day sales challenge, I found myself having most resistance to going live. But more I'm working on database. I need to work on it. Yeah, Jonna, this is normal. Most people aren't doing this. So unless it is something that you've been doing traditionally, of course you have resistance. That's normal for you because that's not normal for you. So what we need to do is we need to help you understand how much better sales and running your business and serving people and talking about your solution, how much better that will feel when you're having these types of conversations, how much easier business will be and how much effort you can decrease by operating this way. And it's just going to be a new pathway for you. Anything that you don't typically do, or that you haven't done before, or that you don't really have education on, is naturally going to feel scary. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's not going to feel normal. And so you're going to resist doing it. And here's what I want to connect with that, guys. That's how your people feel when you're pitching them. That's how they feel when they're having a sales conversation with you. You have to know how to guide them through that. You have to know what kind of questions to be asking and what not to say, because that's how they feel. And so depending on how you guys are saying things, right? Big deal. And you can't really lead and guide someone through that, their own resistance, if you can't do that for yourself, right? So anything new is going to feel scary and uncomfortable, and you're naturally going to have resistance. So it's going to be a training process. We're going to have to get you trained. You're going to have to understand the value and the ease and in the structure within it and how to do it properly. If you don't know how to do something, naturally, it's going to feel overwhelming and you're just not going to do it. Your natural neural pathways are not going to do it. You have to fight that. You have to create new pathways and say, wait a second, I am not available for this to be so difficult and to struggle. Let me do something different that's going to produce the result. And then you need to get support. You need to have people around you that love you, that support you, that can encourage you. And also you need training, right? Most people, guys, millionaires aren't doing this. They're like, and they would rather hire me to come teach this to their sales teams because they don't know how to do it. Most business owners don't know how to effectively sell. That's not most people's specialty. It just happens to be mine, but most people, that's not. You have your zone of genius, and it's probably not sales. So you have to get trained like an athlete, right? An aspiring athlete has to get out on the field Monday through Friday or 7 days a week and train, right? You have to go do the training. You're not just naturally, most business owners don't naturally have these skills. So yeah, you don't really know what you're doing, right? And that's normal. But you can absolutely get training and learn how to do it. That's the beautiful news. And the 30-day sales challenge, guys, is surface level. All I did was teach you some posts and like the muscle memory of moving every day. We did not teach you systems and database and strategy and all sales skill, like, right? That was a very surface level training, guys, which is great. It's valuable. It got you guys doing the things every day and kind of pushing against some of the resistance you had. But guys, that's just the tiny little surface, right? John has said, so the reward of changing versus the reward of staying the same. Yeah, part of sales and what you're going to have to do with your clients is what I call tipping the scale. Tipping the scale means your ideal clients have to see that staying in status quo and staying in their problem is costing them more and it's more risky than investing in the solution and doing the work to get a different outcome. But you cannot go around and say that. You can't say, well, if you don't change, then guess what happened? You have to know how to talk to people because they are going to come up against that resistance of looking, should I stay in what's costing me more? What is more risky? Just staying in my problem and staying in status quo or making this investment? You have to tip the scale so that they see that their problem and staying there is far, far more expensive and riskier than making the investment and getting the solution. And that is effective communication. You have to know how to communicate that without saying that. And so yes, for you, the same thing, right? Regina said, yesterday I made 3 sales. They were so easy, and I'm excited to make even more in a new way. Awesome, Regina. Congratulations. Those sales will motivate us to keep going too. Yes, but please understand you're not always going to be motivated. Okay. There's going to be days where you're not generating sales and you're not having good conversations and things are not going your way. And you have to be able to stay in the game even more so on those days, right? Yeah, tipping the scale. Awesome, ladies. This is so good. So I hope to see you guys in the workshop. We will be hosting it on Zoom. If you need a link, just let us know. And also, guys, if you have questions about anything we talked about here today, If you guys have things you want us to teach and talk about, let us know. If you guys want us to pull out the whiteboards from time to time, we absolutely can do a visual training for you guys. I hope to see you guys in the workshop. Listen, we'll be doing these lives, sales trainings. Sales show happens every single week, every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern as of now. So put it in your calendar. Be here, be square, right? Be here. You're going to always get value. Also know that my team is always going to be reaching out to you in the DM. They'll make sure you get tagged if you've asked us to. If there's anything that we think would really help you and support you, my team is always going to let you know. I'm here if you have questions on anything as well. Awesome. Yes, on the visual trainer, Regina said. Perfect. Yeah, we love the whiteboard. I mean, you can see it behind us, right? We definitely use it. So you are welcome, Loretta. You guys have been awesome. Listen, the buck does not stop here, guys. I want you to actually open up a spreadsheet and start plugging some people in, start operating from a database. Even if you don't know all the ins and outs, stay with us because we will keep walking you through all the systems and processes. We'll do our best to provide really good trainings here for you guys every single week that are really going to help you create rapid sales growth, guys. You're just going to have to be open-minded because it's going to be much different from what people are teaching you and what you're doing right now. So this is really, really good. You guys, thank you so much for being here with me. I will see you guys next week. I'll see you in the group. I'll see you in the DMs. My team will see you. Let us know if you need anything from us, and we'll talk soon.